Good morning, coming to you live from BB26 Goldmont Street in La Accra. You're watching ABC Headlines. I am KHADIJAH ISSIFU. Coming up in the headlines, the government has cleared $1.47 billion of Ghana's long-standing legacy energy sector debt. Concerned Senate Pensioners Forum reject the Social Security and the National Insurance Trust announcement of a 10% average pension increase for 2026, describing it as inadequate to address the worsening economic conditions faced by retirees. We have these and many more coming up shortly. Do stay tuned. Thank you for your time this morning. We are streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube at ABC News GH_. Now to the details. The government of Ghana has cleared legacy energy sector debt amounting to approximately $1.47 billion as of December 31, 2025. According to a statement from the Ministry of Finance, the payments were undertaken within the first year of the Mahama administration and addressed long-standing arrears that had pushed the energy sector to the brink. Central to the intervention was the full repayment of the World Bank partial risk guarantee, which had been depleted due to persistent non-payment under the previous administration. According to the statement issued on Monday, January 12, by the Finance Ministry, the government repaid $597.15 million, inclusive of interest, thereby fully restoring the guarantee facility. In addition, all outstanding gas invoices owed to ENI and Vitol for electricity generation were settled. These payments totaled about $480 million as of December 31, 2025, ensuring Ghana is fully up to date on its obligations to the Sankofa gas project partners. The $1.470 billion total expenditure for the 2025 fiscal year covers several critical areas of the energy's value chain, including the Sankofa partners, where the government settled approximately $480 million in outstanding gas invoices, bringing Ghana current on its obligations for electricity generation gas supply. Approximately $393 million was paid towards legacy IPP debt in 2025 alone. New agreements have been reached with Tala Oil and Jubilee Field partners to ensure a sustainable roadmap for future gas offtake payments. The Ministry of Finance noted that prudent fiscal management and adequate budgetary provisions have been put in place to sustain timely payments going forward. The Obuasi Circuit Court has remanded 9 suspects into police custody over their alleged involvement in an assault on police officers at the Chiapiase Senior High School Park in the Ashanti region. The suspects were arraigned before the court on Thursday, January 8, 2026, and charged with assault on public officers following a viral video that captured the incident. The suspects are Joshua Frimpong, also known as Joy B, Bano Williams, Isaac Jumfuo, also known as Sporty, Evans Bano, also known as Pressure King, Asiedu Ronald, also known as Case Close, Safu Alex, also known as Okele, Yao Alex, Obidiaba Desmond, and Ajiman Emmanuel. According to the police, the incident occurred at the Chiapiase SHS Park, where the suspect, together with other accomplices who are currently at large, allegedly attacked officers who were on duty at the location. The court ordered that the accused persons be held in police custody as investigations into the matter continue. The police service has cautioned the public against attacks on law enforcement officers, warning that anyone who assaults police personnel will be tracked down and made to face the full rigors of the law. Now, away from that, the Concerned Senate Pensioners Forum has criticized the Social Security and National Insurance Trust announcement of a 10% average pension increase for 2026, describing it as inadequate to address the worsening economic conditions faced by retirees, particularly those on low incomes. In a press release dated January 10, 2026, the forum said that although it welcomes the annual indexation, the adjustment does little to curb pensioner poverty and fails to reflect the real cost of living. It noted that many retirees continue to struggle to afford food, medication, and basic health care despite the yearly percentage increases announced by SNIT. The CSPF revealed that it petitioned SNIT on November 19, 2025, calling for urgent reforms to raise the minimum pension to a livable level and to address what it described as long-standing injustices in the pension adjustment system. Copies of the petition were also sent to the Minister for Finance, the Minister of Employment and Labour Relations, and the Chief Executive Officer of the National Pensions Authority to seek their intervention. In the petition, the forum proposed that the minimum monthly pension will be increased to 600 Ghana cedis and that pensions receive an average increment of between 15 and 20% in 2026. It argued that the 2025 minimum pension of 396 cedis 58 pesos was woefully inadequate, stressing that the amount cannot even cover the cost of medication for many elderly pensioners. The group said it met on December 10, 2025, and was assured that its concerns would be forwarded to the appropriate approving authorities. However, it has since raised questions over what it described as inconsistencies in SNIT's public statement on minimum pension levels in its 2025 and 2026 indexation announcements. Former Minister for Finance Kenneth Nanaya Ofori-Atta has declined consular assistance from the Embassy of Ghana in Washington, D.C., insisting on the presence of his lawyers before engaging embassy officials. According to an official statement released by the mission, in a press release dated January 10, 2026, signed by Ghana's ambassador to the United States, Victor Emmanuel Smith, the embassy confirmed that Ofori-Atta had been taken into custody by the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement. The statement said the embassy moved swiftly to verify the circumstances surrounding the detention after becoming aware of the development. Following confirmation, the embassy said it formally contacted the relevant detention facility to request access to Ofori-Atta in order to provide consular assistance in line with established diplomatic practice and international conventions, including the Vienna Convention on Consular Relations, which guarantees detained foreign nationals the right to consular access. However, embassy officials were informed by authorities at the detention facility that Ofori-Atta declined to engage with consular officers at the time, stating that he would only do so in the presence of his legal representatives. The embassy emphasized that its decision was Ofori-Atta's personal choice and did not amount to a denial of access by U.S. authorities. It added that the mission remains in active contact with the appropriate United States authorities and is closely monitoring development to ensure that the former minister's rights and welfare are fully respected throughout the process. In more news, former spokesperson for Dr. Bawumia in the 2024 election, Dennis Miracle Sabwaje, has accused the government of complacency in the fight against illegal mining, arguing that state institutions undermine enforcement efforts by buying gold from the very galamsey operators they are supposed to stop. According to him, this contradiction weakens the resolve to end the menace and fuels the continued destruction of the environment.
And the president is telling us that, oh, I got a report that the rivers were coffee, and now I hear it has become Milo. So we are making progress. That is the president's definition of progress. The NDC's government's definition of progress when it comes to the fight of Galamsey is when the river bodies move from coffee to Milo. But guess what? The government is complicit in the Galamsey situation. Because you know what? This government is buying the gold from the Galamseyers. I'm buying now Casa de Ekoto gold from Galamsey. In fact, I'm buying now Casa de Ekoto gold because I'm going to gold in the man. The president said in a media engagement, said 60% of the gold that Ghana has bought and is exporting through gold board is bought from small scale miners. Ghana, 90% of small scale miners, according to a report, HSA, only illegal miners, Galamsey. To the extent, say for TikTok, you have Galamsey TV, and over 1 million followers. I'm to be a demonstration in the gold board. If you cannot want to pay a gold, one to more, and you bring now buy a bar, no more bonus. Sorry for us to speak up and call this government to sit up and get the job done. By the time we realize this country has gone back to where 2016 we were, and we'll be calling for another government to come. Painfully enough, anytime the NDC bring this country down, it is the MPP that comes to fix it. And when we come to fix it, they demonize us and then they come back again. We are saying, never again are we going to allow this to happen. You must fulfill your promise. You must end Galamsey.
Meanwhile, Dennis Miracle Sabwaji says the New Patriotic Party remains the only political party in Ghana with verifiable and monumental development legacies. He argues that the NPP's record in infrastructure, social interventions and economic reforms provides clear evidence of its long-term impact on national development. He argues that the NDC government's performance in the first year has been driven by political astroturfing rather than real change.
For the entire period since 1992 to 2026, where we are now, between the MPP and the NDC, the fact still remains that the MPP is the only political party that has evidence of clear-cut monumental legacies for this country. That is without lie. That is fact. You can't debate it. Legacy. You see, every government builds schools, so we don't count that. Every government builds roads, so that is not a big deal. Every government will build markets. That is not what we are talking about. We are talking about a government that will bring development that every Ghanaian everywhere will benefit. The kind of development that if you are in Adesso, or you are in far away or Yoko, or you are in Sisala, or you are in Pusiga, you will benefit. That is what usually we describe as the social intervention policies. Because you see, government cannot have enough money to construct every road in Ghana. So if government says I'm building roads, California will never see one because the money is not enough. But if the government brings the national health insurance, every Ghanaian everywhere will benefit. Whether you are in the upper east or upper west OT, you will benefit. Today, if we are to count between the NDC and the MPP, which government has brought monumental country? Here it is on the screen. The NDC can talk of Akoko and Ketenkete. They can talk of free sanitary pad for our girls. And they can talk of no stress-free fee.
Former President Nana Akufo-Addo has commended the Presidential Election Committee for the New Patriotic Party for what he described as an impressive and transparent execution of its mandate ahead of the party's presidential primary scheduled for Saturday, January 31, 2026. The former president made the remarks when the committee, led by its chairman, Mr. Joseph Osei-Owusu, paid a courtesy call on him to present a comprehensive report on activities undertaken so far in the planning and execution of the upcoming primary. Nana Akufo-Addo said the work carried out by the committee stood out for its clarity, openness, and strict adherence to democratic principles. The committee's work thus so far has been nothing short of impressive. the former president said, stressing that key milestones had been achieved under a firm commitment to zero tolerance for opacity. This approach, he said, had not only ensured transparency, but had also guarded religiously the sanctity of the process. The Presidential Election Committee, chaired by Mr. Osei Owusu, a former first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, has been widely credited for the orderly, inclusive and principled manner in which it has discharged its duties. Under his stewardship, the committee has consistently emphasized fair stakeholder engagement and respect for party regulation. With the presidential primary drawing closer, Nana Akufo-Addo's endorsement is expected to further boost confidence among party delegates, aspirants and the general public in the integrity of the process being led by Mr. Osei Owusu and his team. We wrap up with the headlines this morning. For more news, visit our website at www.abcnewsgh.com and follow us on our socials at abcnewsgh_. ABC in the Morning with Abna Mante comes up next. I am KHADIJAH ISSIFU. Do have a nice day.